What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Meraki podcast. I'm your host, Eric Phillips. Thank you for joining us for another week. So, I get the blessed opportunity to talk to a friend of mine, someone who I have the blessed opportunity to learn from, to watch strive and thrive in his personal life, and also together. And so, we're going to shine a light on a close friend of mine's, Les Squiar. We're going to dive into his life and what it is that he does and the impact that he makes on his family, but then also the community that he serves. So, Les, thank you for joining us for another episode, man.
Of course. Appreciate you having me.
Okay.
Excited for this, man.
Yes, sir. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Who's Les Squiar?
Um, I'm a man of God. I am a father, husband, 12 years, 5 children. Um, I'm a lover of learning, a lover of people. Um, I am just a person who really enjoys life, man, and enjoy growing through life. One of the things about me is, my brand is never quit, but it's really never quit pursuing the greatest version of you. So for me, it's every single day realizing that I got an opportunity to better my best, right? Because we're progressive by nature as human beings. We want today to be better than yesterday. We want tomorrow to be greater than today. So I'm always after being better in every area of my life, whether personal, financial, business, whatever, community, friend, right? Father, husband. I'm always looking to be better. So that's me in a nutshell.
No doubt, no doubt, man. I've had the blessed opportunity to see you strive, bro, and your logo or your slogan, and I guess it can kind of go as a mission statement too, bro. But like, never quit is something that played a huge part into like my overall life. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so being able to be a part of a brand that is exactly that, that exudes like taking it to the next level and prospering and making not only yourself better, but then also the people around you better too. Um, it goes with the title, man. So what is it? What what was one sign that you can remember? What one childhood memory that defines who you are today?
Um, yeah, I remember a few, but I would say one that I share all the time, and it wasn't necessarily. I mean, I guess we still consider it as a child, 13 years old, right? Living under my parents' roof, I'm a child still, right? But in the first year of my teenage years, I became a lifeguard on the Atlantic City Beach Patrol, and I got involved because of the money, right? Because of the girls. They told us there was going to be girls there, right?
Yeah.
And then also I got involved because I love swimming and I love the water, so it seemed to be an ideal position for me. Um, saving someone's life was never a thought to me. I always love helping people, but to actually be in a position to risk my life to save someone else's, I didn't really view lifeguarding as that because, how many rescues have I seen in my lifetime before I became a lifeguard? Zero, right? So I didn't even realize that it was a thing. And in fact, when I would go to the beach, I never even realized or recognized that there were lifeguards there
Mm.
before I became one.
Yeah.
So my first week on Atlantic City Beach Patrol, had a water case. Water case means to give somebody CPR. It means somebody who's almost drowned. And I remember just sitting on the stand with a partner of mine. My first week, 13 years old. You got fresh rookie eyes. You know, they tell you to keep your eyes on the water at all times when you're a rookie. Well, you should at all times, but as a rookie, they better not get caught on your phone or caught looking at something else. You better have your eyes on the water. And I was paying attention, man, because I was really serious about the job. But more importantly, I just didn't want nobody dying on my watch. I was, you know what I mean? I was scared of that happening.
Number
You know
one.
what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't want nobody dying. Nobody gonna be blaming me for somebody dying on my watch. So I'm watching and I see this thing like, bobbing and I'm looking, and I look closer, and then I see some hands on another side, like on the other, maybe about 2-3 yards away. I see some hands, and I tap my partner, and I'm pointing, and he's like, "Yo, we gotta go."
Yeah.
So when we running, I grab that orange can that you guys see on the lifeguard or Baywatch. When you see David Hasselhoff running down, real slow, you know what I'm saying? That's really our thoughts, to being a lifeguard.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm running out there with the can. My partner says, "No, let's grab the boat." Now, as a rookie, you don't typically take the boat. You take the can and you're swimming unless you're a strong rower.
Yeah.
And my partner, we got in the boat, we rowed out there. When we got there, the lady dropped, like she sank. I had to jump out of the stern to grab her. I jumped like right on her, grabbed her, and then some of the other swimmers got there to put her in the boat.
Yeah.
Eyes roll in the back of her head, blue, and I'm giving this woman CPR. And my partner's just, guiding me throughout the steps. Now we went through the training, and I can't really tell you how long it was. It felt long. It
Yeah.
felt like it was forever. But giving that woman compressions and not seeing her respond, now that as I think about it after the fact, I think like, wow, I was really in that situation. But when I was in it, it was just I resorted to my training.
Yeah.
So giving her CPR, it took a while to get in because there was some big waves crashing the back of the boat. We ended up getting in, unresponsive, right? She wasn't responsive. We got in. All the lifeguards, they're bringing in the boat. You got hundreds of people surrounding us. We bring the boat in, and as we get to pull the woman out the boat to lay her on the sand, she coughs up pretty much everything she ate yesterday, today, that day, and whatever else.
Yeah.
And we got our oxygen, and the EMTs, it seemed to me it took them forever to get there. But obviously, when you're in an emergency situation, everything seems to not come fast enough. But they got there, took her off, and that was my first experience on the Atlantic City Beach Patrol um, as a lifeguard,
Yeah.
becoming a person that's really guarding lives, man. Because
How old
there's a
were you?
difference between a lifeguard. I was 13. Actually I just turned 14. It was around my birthday because we started on July 4th. My
Yeah.
birthday is July 3rd, so I was actually 14. When I tried out, I was 13. I turned 14, so I was 14 years old, giving this woman CPR. And the reason why this was a big part of my story is because prior to being on the beach patrol, I was just hanging on the corner all the time. You know,
Yeah.
I was wasting a lot of time chilling with my friends, whatever, just doing a bunch of nothing, having fun, right? But at the same time, really not using my time wisely, and not necessarily getting into trouble, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
walking that fine line. So
Yeah.
there was there were chances for me to get into some things that I know I shouldn't have been in, but the beach patrol actually saved my life.
Yeah. The irony of that,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah, right. Yeah.
the idea that you're at 14 and you were already presented with something so like life threatening, and having to be able to like remain calm,
Mhm.
and then go through the steps. You know what I'm saying? Your average 14-year-old aren't faced with those type of decisions. You know what I'm saying? So for you to have that and to be in that space, man, and then for you to be able to do that continuously for years and teach other people that same thing, it's that's beautiful, bro. That's what life and passion is all about. That's exactly what the Meraki podcast is all about. Because a lot of times we get in this jobs and situations, um, that we're doing just to get by, or to pay the bills, take care of the family. Um,
Mhm.
and there's a different type of attitude that we bring to it, um, when we don't have what the whole name of the podcast is, Meraki, which is the passion and love of doing whatever it is that you do. If we don't have that passion, someone can lose their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, someone someone could possibly not get something done that is very important, that is an emergency, and that is what we don't understand, because a lot of times we get into things just to do it, and then we go and we put ourselves and input ourselves in those situations, and we don't give it the love and the passion that it needs, and then people can see
Right.
it. So for you to be able
Right.
to do that at 14 and know that that's something that you wanted to do and show up, you had that passion and love for it. Even if you aren't doing lifeguard now, you had the passion and love for changing lives and helping others and saving and being a servant of your community. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing to see, bro. It's very a beautiful thing to see. So talk to
I
me a little bit
appreciate that.
more about your progress in regards to going through the lifeguard, and what else happened after that first crazy like experience.
Yeah, I mean, lifeguarding was a lot of fun, man. I learned so much. I met so many great people on the beach patrol and people who, came down to the beach to just, enjoy a day or a weekend in Atlantic City. Many relationships, man. It's just great experiences. Obviously, I've had hundreds of rescues. I've been on a lot of different rescues. Um, I became, one of the guys who did a lot of the political stuff, right? So I was, doing a blessing of the sea, going to the schools,
I didn't even know that
doing a
was
lot of
a thing.
stuff, a lot of things in it. Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely.
Blessing the sea. Now, what's
Uh,
that? Like, how does that work?
that's when the priest comes down and he gets in the boat and two guys row him out and he does this whole thing and he takes this reef and he throws it out into the ocean and he says a prayer and all these people, like thousands of people, come down from all over and they come with their water bottles and all that and they take, they fill up their water
Yeah,
of the Atlantic City Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and they take it home. I don't know what they do with it at that point. Some people say they bathe in it. Some people say they bless themselves with it. There's a lot of things that people do with it. But yeah, he blesses the sea. Um, that's a thing. They do it every single year. They do it every year.
that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's another event as well before the beach opens. They do the opening of the sea, and it's like a big wooden key, and you put it in the sand and you kind of unlock it. The mayor is typically involved in that, but they invite some of the lifeguards, and I was always a part of some things like that, and then I eventually got into going into the schools speaking about lifeguarding because a lot of the kids in Atlantic City didn't even know that lifeguards even exist. Matter of fact, I would always take a poll and I would tell the kids to raise their hand if they've ever been to the beach before. And out of 100, 200 kids, maybe like 5 to 10 would raise their hand. And
Yeah,
then I would say, how many of y'all ever like touched the sand before? Like maybe you haven't gotten in water, but maybe you just touched the sand and you would have the same amount, 5 to 10 kids raise their hand. Well, how many of y'all been to the boardwalk?
mhm.
And they say, maybe about 20, 25. Oh yeah, I remember we got some ice cream and some pizza. Right, but we never went on the beach. We never touched the sand. And then you would think about this. You guys live a block or two away, or some of y'all on beach block,
Right,
and you've never been to the beach.
right.
You've never been to the boardwalk. And it's such a it's sad to a certain degree because there's a fear, you know what I mean, of the water. Now I get it. I have a respect for the water, and I'll tell you, some stories of me respecting the water. But there's a respect for the ocean, obviously. There's a respect for a body of water, obviously. But there shouldn't be a fear where you guys don't enjoy such a beautiful place like the beach right in your backyard. Like people travel miles, people travel over the airways, people travel the byways and the highways to get to a place that you got right in your backyard and you don't take advantage of it. A lot of us don't swim, right? Black people don't swim. There was some guys in Atlantic City that actually had programs to teach kids how to swim. A lot of us didn't take advantage of those resources. Some of us did, but I took it as far as going and making the beach patrol. Look, man, he's making $150 a day at 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean? Think about that kind of money that these guys, that we were making and the opportunities of young people from Atlantic City that can make that kind of money. That could keep them off the streets.
Yeah,
So that's what I was after. So I was going in there with my you know, they were just going in there with the can, you know, talking about, man, I brought my signs, the cans, my outfits, the whistles. I want the boat. I want everything there. I want to stand. I want them kids to get the experience so they can see what it looks like to be a lifeguard, and it can attract them. Because look, you can become a lifeguard 14 years old. You could start off here while you're at home during the summers. There's kids who went off to college, came back during the summers, and made money, but they wasn't from Atlantic City. They were from Ventnor, Margate, all the other towns, right? And they got their parents in the police department, fire department, so they getting the information. The information wasn't getting out to us. So that's why So that's why I was out there in the schools, New York Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue, Texas, all of those schools, high school. I was in all of those schools giving demonstrations, National Night Out. I was there educating the people about it, you know, make it fun, attractive so that the kids would come. And eventually it got to a point where I was like, yo, I need to constantly use this gifting. And this is how it has been playing out in my life. I've always built programs, built curriculum, um, built some sort of mechanism to help the young people out and connect them to some sort of resource or opportunity. And it's still happening today, even with me being retired of the Beach Patrol of 17 years. But while I was on the Beach Patrol, I created a rookie academy. The rookie academy already existed. It's actually how I got on the beach. But the junior lifeguard program, not the rookie academy. The rookie academy already existed. That's the rookie academy. You go through 2 weeks of training before you become a lifeguard. Yeah. But the junior lifeguard program is when you're 12, I think 11, 12, 13, and you can get on this academy. They pay you $950 a day, but they pay you, right? They provide lunch and we provide training. Yeah. Man, I had 40 kids I had 40 kids initially. They brought in about I think it was about 27 kids. Yeah. Right? 27 kids from Atlantic City. This was the summer that Atlantic City was having some big challenges with providing things for the kids to do over the summer. Yeah. They were cutting a lot of budgets, so a lot of teachers, a lot of after school summer programs were canceled. So they put it on emergency management, the police, the fire, the beach patrol, to run these Explorer junior lifeguard programs for kids to have something to do. Yeah. We didn't have a junior lifeguard program. It was dead for the last like 5 years. So they came to me because they know I work with the youth. I've been speaking. I've been working in the schools and things like that, even outside of my time on the beach patrol. And it was like, what does it look like for you to develop a new junior lifeguard program, revamp it? Because we need it. The press is on us. The mayor's on us. Everybody's on us to get this program going. Yeah. And we put it together. The chief, he gave me everything I needed the first year. And we had 27 kids. Out of the 27 kids, I believe 23 of them were Black from like, they were from, you know what I mean? New York Ave. They were from that area. Yeah. These kids didn't even want to touch the sand, man. Like I'm not touching that water. I'm not. Listen, by week 2, these kids were swimming out in the. They were begging me, yo, let's go out in the boat. Let's flip the boat over. There's some lifeguards that don't like doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't like taking the boat out, flipping it over, going under to the air pockets and stuff like that. Yes. These kids, they jumping off the boat. I'm talking about, maybe about 30 feet deep, maybe 50 feet. Yeah. We rowing way out. It's probably deeper than that. Yeah. And they swimming, they having a good time. And out of the 27, the 23 were Black. 12 of them became actual lifeguards. That's good. 12 of them. Yeah. And they made the beach patrol. And there was some black girls. And it's beautiful, man. They had this picture. They posted on Instagram. They both were like this. Yeah. Right? And then they wrote on themselves and say, girls can guard, and then the other one was can guard too, or something like that. And they were saying, and it was powerful, bro. It was so powerful because there weren't many Black girls on the matter of fact, there weren't any Black girls on the Atlantic City Beach Patrol. Yeah. And the thing about these girls made it.
You said that it saved your life. a lot of times, like you said, we don't even know that that's available to us. How important do you feel it is to bring something new outside of just football and basketball? Because a lot of times
Um,
that's what the cities are keeping in the city because
yeah.
for some odd reason they feel like that's the only thing that kids can do. But how important was it for you to be able to push that program, the junior program, and be like, no, this is something that they need, and then I'm not only going to take what you have, but I'm going to add to because it's important for them to see all of it. It's important for them to see the
Yeah.
boats, the equipment, what they're going to be wearing, and being in that environment. Why was that so important to you?
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said. Our communities are used to what brings success, right? Or what they've had success in. So they just keep breeding that. If it's basketball, they pushing basketball. If it's football, they push it. So those seem to be the only funnels that we're gonna put a lot of resource and time and energy in because it just seems to be the only successful route just because that's what's been and that's what we have seen in the past. It's not saying that other people don't have success in other areas. It's not highlighted. For
Yeah,
me, I highlighted it was important for me to highlight the Beach Patrol because I realized how it changed my life. It exposed me to so much, man.
yeah,
Like, look, I mean, I grew up, Pleasantville, Atlantic City. There wasn't a lot of white people. You know what I mean? Where I grew up, I had teachers, right? But like, as far as my community, as far as like being with them daily, I wasn't around them, so I wasn't really learning much about them or learning. They weren't learning about me. So when I made the Beach Patrol, I mean, we're there 6, 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, sometimes 10. I'm sitting on the stand with a guy that don't look like me, that got a different background than me. We get to talking about stuff, man. Now we like brothers
yeah,
because we realize that it's not that much different. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously the skin color, but at the end of the day, we got the same challenges, man. You know what I mean? Your family might have, more money than ours, but that don't mean that y'all don't deal with the same challenges. There's still people die. There's still people hungry. There's still, dysfunctional folks in our family. Like, we bonded in many different ways,
yeah,
and it that part of exposure is important. Not just the success of it. Not just go out there and be a doctor. Be exposed to be a doctor. Be exposed to a different way of life. Be exposed to other people's backgrounds. Be exposed to what real love is. Be exposed to what real passion is,
yeah,
and really see what other folks have to offer, man. Because we can't do it by ourselves, man. We all need some help.
yeah,
We all need some help, and that's what was important to me to expose them to other things because it literally the bistro literally changed my life. I looked at all of my friends where I grew up with, you know, in the streets, right? Some of them went to jail. And I hate to paint that picture. Some of them went to jail. Some of them, went other routes. Some of them just worked at McDonald's and worked at Sam's, right? And not that that wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem, but they sure enough wasn't making $150 a day.
yeah,
It changed the game, bro. It really changed my life. So I'm like, yo, I gotta expose other people to this.
yeah,
Man, I can't tell you how many people I was telling about the beach stroll, but there's like, nah, man, we're gonna be over here, man. I ain't wearing them short, and I ain't wearing them speedos. They clowned about it. But when I pulled up with my Audi, when I pulled up with my Bonneville, when I was, you know what I mean? When I had all the things that I wanted to do, and I wasn't about shining, I really was about putting money and tucking money and saving money. But I was about my business, man. Like I was moving.
yeah. And
I
then the
was
thing
moving.
about it,
So why wouldn't other people want to be exposed to that?
that's the thing. A lot of the times, the things that bring the most joy to us, because if you're oversaturating us with basketball and football, I forget what the number is of like NBA players, but it's like less than like 600 players in the whole entire league.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, you think about between 15, 18 players on a roster, maybe not even that sometimes.
yeah, so your your opportunities are very slim. And the thing about it is, if I'm oversaturating you with this, you're gonna miss out. Every the quiet ones, like the scholarships, where a lot more scholarships are being offered, like golf, row, hockey, soccer,
Lacrosse,
track.
wrestling.
You know what I'm saying? All the baseball, like those things. Baseball pays the most, I think. Like these sports are untapped, because they oversaturate or they put us into this one particular box. And it's like
Yeah.
these are the ones that are over here making the money. So if we have one person like yourself that is exposed to it and have the opportunity to bring it back, not everybody's going, like you said, it was like 12 people out of 27, but the idea of it is getting someone exposed because they're going to pass it off to somebody else, and they're going to allow that information to get out through their network of people and who they have close reach with. So the idea is just being exposed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To something,
Yeah.
something new, and then the
For
city
sure.
supporting that, the people, not only the city but the organizations and different people that are in power to be able to support that and say, all right, we're going to shine more light on it because there are more things out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It just takes that courageous person, man. It just takes that person that's passionate enough for something outside of the box, man. You
Yeah,
know, it just takes that person to say, yo, I want to offer something different. And it's
yeah,
man, people are doing it now. You know what I mean? Kids are starting to really pick up on different things. Now, I would like to see some kids take up some more practical thing because a lot of things is online now. You know, everybody want to be a YouTube. So it's not now. It's like I don't want to play basketball and football. I want to be a YouTuber, and YouTube is like the only thing. I want to be a gamer and YouTube. So now gaming and YouTube is equivalent to basketball and football back in the day. So that's all the kids want to do. And it's like, yo, there's a lot more life out. What about the person who created the game?
yeah,
You know what I mean? What about what about building a platform, that could help with something that you're doing on YouTube? Think about think outside of the box because one thing I understood, and Shaq said this a long time ago. He said, I'm rich. The person that cuts my check is wealthy, right? So I would rather create the thing, right, than be a consumer of it.
that part.
Right? Like I would have rather create YouTube than to go on YouTube and create my own channel. And it's cool to create your own channel. There's a lot of people making a lot of money. That's cool. But I'm in the headspace of what's that thing
Yeah,
that I could create that people need, right? That people want that'll add value to their lives.
yeah,
That it's a layup for me. Like diapers, the layup. Whoever created diapers, brilliant. Matter of fact, whoever created the color blue. No, I'm just playing. I always say that. That's my.
hey, hey. Word up,
You know what
word
I'm
up.
saying? Like,
But
like,
the whole
like
idea
that.
of it is to think outside of the box, think bigger than just what is put right in front of you. The low hanging fruit is who's the person creating like the seed? Where'd you get the seed from? Because like this is just product of that seed. That's all that is. You know what I'm saying? So get to the seed because that's where it's all at. You know what I'm saying? But the funny part about that is a seed, you don't necessarily see all of that. You don't see it as success when you initially plant the seed, right? So you just see this seed and you like, yo, I know what it's supposed to do, but like I don't, you not, I have no evidence of this being like it being this big old thing. But
Right.
the best part about it is the seed is usually just planted and it just walks away. So there needs to be someone that's going to plant that seed for someone and then let it go, let it flourish, let it blossom into what it is. But that takes risk, that takes
Yeah.
sacrifice, that takes a
Yeah.
different level of passion and love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit more about that. Though we're going to kind of switch gears in regards to what it is that you do now. Though you went from being a lifeguard to then creating your own program to develop more lifeguards. Then what you did was you started going into schools and then starting to spread that there as well. Now you're in the same environment in regards to schools, but you're doing something to a different magnitude. You now are motivating, inspiring, and also building curriculums for youth, all different types of youth, not only youth but adults as well. How did that switch happen? What did you see that you said, okay, I need to go in this direction now?
I was always um just in a position of helping people. Like that's at the when you think of the bear, you strip everything, strip family, strip my name, strip everything. If everything was stripped away from me at the end of the day, Les is going to help somebody.
Yeah.
That's who I am. I'm going to help somebody. Um, I always wanted to help, and then I think the burning desire, as far as the audience in which I chose to help with the youth, is I was frustrated that we weren't getting all the information as a community that I was getting. Because my dad, he exposed me to entrepreneurship. He exposed me to personal and professional development young, because he was involved in this network marketing company years ago. And I was always hearing the private business receptions, him on his calls. He'd be out prospecting. Like, I would always see that and hear that. I would hear the tapes that he would play when we trying to listen to music, and he pop in that tape, and it's like, you know, Billy Graham jump on her, or Jim Rohn jumps on and says, you know what I mean? Something that he said. I can't even come up with something come off the top of my head, but it resonated with us over time, and it really settled into um who I was, helping. So when I got the information, I would always convert it in by doing it and then sharing it.
Yeah.
And the ability to teach, my gifting to teach, I would always take something that was very complex and break it down in such simple concepts, so simple steps for people to just do it and walk right into it.
Yeah.
So my mother was a teacher. She's been a teacher for 29 years. My dad was in social work. So I saw them helping people all the time. So I was bred in it. You know what I mean? So with personal development, professional development, entrepreneurship, that business acumen, and then always being around it, traveling with my dad to these different super Saturdays, motivational Monday, all that stuff. Being around people that said, "Yo, I used to be a janitor, now I'm a millionaire." Like people saying, like, I used to, I didn't have a GED, now I have a I forgot how he says it, something, but he's a millionaire, right? So it's like, exposure is everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm here to do. Like, I'm here to expose young people to things that I was exposed to, and even the things that I wasn't exposed to, that when I got the information, like, man, why didn't we get this? Why aren't they teaching this younger? You know what I mean? And it was a frustration. So now, when I'm in the schools, I'm giving these kids game. I'm giving them stuff that they can really work with now,
Yeah.
right? Really do now, not something futuristic that they got to think, man, they can't wrap their minds around. I'm talking about, these are things you could do right now. Step one, step two, step three, boom, you at your goal, right?
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time focusing on that, because I wish somebody really would have sat down and did that for me. Now, he did expose me to it, but I didn't necessarily have a guide on what to do with it. So I
Yeah.
was this young man filled with all of this wisdom, all this, or I say knowledge, but not knowing how to make the proper decisions based on that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wise beyond my
Which is the
years,
wisdom.
right? But I still made a lot of mistakes, because I always put um I always moved a little too fast. My mom always used to say that, boy, slow down. And I never knew what she understood until I actually was slowed down.
Yeah.
Like, she told me, boy, slow down. You moving too fast. Slow down. Man, I was moving 1,000 miles an hour in a direction I don't know. I just wanted to help people, and I just knew that I was gonna make a lot of money doing it. That was it. And I know I was gonna help a lot of people, and I was gonna make a lot of money doing it. Those are the two things that I knew, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
why
man. So
why why now give these tools and then make a whole curriculum out of it? Because you can easily just go and be like, all right, well, listen, I'm just going to give you guys the talk, but then I'm going to give you the steps. But then you also created a curriculum which is much more in depth. So why is it important to, instead of just being with kids on one particular day, but being with them on a more consistent basis? Why is that important?
I need him to get it, man.
Yeah.
I need him to get it, man.
Like you said, you
Like,
the steps, but it takes more. You need that
yeah,
guidance
man.
up through.
Yeah, you need that support, man. Every day like if schools, it's not about what the schools teach, it's about what they don't teach,
Yeah.
right? So if you have teachers that are more now guides, not just of the academia, but they're guides of life skills, emotional intelligence, mental health, financial literacy, um, civic engagement, like all these different things, and lifeguarding, like all kind. You can expose kids each day. Kids are so impressionable; they learn so. If you expose them to one thing each day, bro, it'd be game. Like I'll take my kids. I'll let them watch a YouTube video on something that's like that blows their mind. They ain't never heard of it before, because I want my kids used to like grasping complex things and concepts, and I don't want them to be bottled in. Like, this circle of kids only heard about basketball, football, and tennis, right? My kids thinking about architect, anthropology. Like my son said he wanted to be an anthropologist the other day. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want them thinking outside the box. My daughter, like, she like, let dad, I'm gonna work to get some money, but I know wherever I work, it was created by somebody who had an idea. So I'm gonna take them skills and whatever my gifting, whatever it is that I want to do, I'm gonna take that money and those skills and I'm gonna build something myself. And I'm gonna, like she already thinking that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that we need. And then I am here because I didn't necessarily have the guide. I shouldn't say I didn't have the guide. Um, I didn't necessarily have what I feel like I'm giving. That's how I'll say it like that. I'll
For
say it
sure.
like that because I did have a guide, but I didn't have someone to kind of walk me through, and that's why the curriculum is important to me because I want to see it through. I want to see the kids get it through. Now I might not be. I love how you said you sow the seed. Sometimes you sow the seed, and that was your part of it.
Yeah.
You may not water it. You might not be the sunlight. That might be somebody else's job. But as long as you're sowing the seed, and for me, having a curriculum, I'm not just sowing the seed. I'm also help watering it, put some sunlight because I can see that thing through. Now, do I have to be the voice all the time? No. That's why I bring other people like you, like Sherrod, like Nick, like all other people to come in because they need to hear other people's experience, other people's background. They need to see other people's value, other people's success, other people that has a story of going through things that they not just went through, but that they grown through.
Yeah.
And when they can see that, they can see that for themselves. And I want to say this real quick because you said they, as far as like the tree, you said it, not me. So this is a seed right here. This is my logo.
Yeah.
And your seed has to be rooted in between never quit. It got to be rooted and never quit.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you plant that seed, there's gonna be a lot of things that happen to you. It's gonna be a whole lot of things that happen to you. And this is what I'm teaching now because I had to grow through bitterness, right? I had to grow through anger. I had to grow through some of the things that have happened to me that I
Yeah.
kept rehearsing, and I created memorials of these things that happened to me. So I couldn't operate in 100% me
Yeah.
because something else had part of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when it came to me giving 100% of myself, I couldn't even do it as much as I want, and I was pushing, figuring out like why this thing ain't working. Like I'm giving everything I got, and it's like yeah, you are, but it's required 100%, and all that you are right now is 60 because something else has 40% of you.
Yeah.
So you might feel like you're giving 100%. You're giving 100% of 60%.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Giving
saying?
the full 60.
Right. You're giving a
Yeah.
full 60, but it's required 100%. But you don't have 100%. You only got 60 because the other 40, like you didn't gave it to somebody else, somebody that hurt you,
Yeah.
somebody that promised you something and broke that promise. Like they got a piece of you, and you can't fully live free and do the things that that you are being blessed and called to do and gifted to do because something's holding you back. And that's what I'm teaching. The reason why I'm teaching that is because a lot of kids these days, they dealing with a lot of trauma, man. And they gotta learn how to forgive. They gotta learn that early, because if they don't, man, my daughter said something the other day. It's two girls that she was friends with this one girl, and then she was friends with another girl. There's one girl, everybody really can't stand because she's really disrespectful. She say things that like, she sucked the air out of the room, kind of stuff she said. And they're in the hallway, there's kids going around, it's a bunch of noise. Just think of middle school in the midday, everybody excited. And the one girl that everybody's kind of grown not to like said something to the other girl, like, man, that's why you adopted and nobody loves you and blah, blah, blah. And like the room, the whole hallway, the whole school just quiet.
Yeah.
And the young lady just stood there looking at her like, I can't believe like you said that.
Yeah. Indeed.
And those kind of things can scar you for life, bro.
Yeah.
You can constantly rehearse that over and over and over again. You 13, you 14, but you'll rehearse that at 28. You'll rehearse that at 58. You'll go to the grave with that and never forgive, never let that go. And you'll be bonded and chained to that, and everything that happens that's similar to that, anything that happens, it's going to be triggering to you. You ain't going to be able to do. I dealt with something, man, that I was bitter about it. And every time somebody came to me, it was like, yo, let's do this together, man. I'm like, nope. No, I'm good. I'm good. And then if I did get into it, I ain't fully trust them because of what happened to me. And it wasn't until I forgave and let it go. You know my story, right? I was able to let it go, and then I was free, man. Because at the end of the day, I can't control what nobody else do and what they say. And that's what I teach kids. Because if you teach them that from the start, they be free.
Dude, I would have been free years ago. I'd have been free years ago. Funny story. I was in 7th, 8th grade, possibly. I was dating this young lady, and I had a boy, and he wasn't my boy, but like when we were in school, that's who I rolled with. And so I considered our relationship to be fairly cool. And somehow, some way, this young man and this other young lady, they lived in the same hood. So like they were in close proximity. If you go outside, you see him or whatever like that. Come to find out, she ended up cheating on me with him. And being young, your boys like, yo, like, how you gonna let that? You know what I mean? And I was like, low key, I was a little hurt about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, she did me dirty. And
I was really hurt about that.
On top of that, what made it worse, the dude that I would have went to be like, yo, can you believe this girl did that? He
was the one that did it.
He was the one. And it did strife. It's definitely strife. Like my trust in people. Like if you wasn't family, and it's funny because like I remember the situation, but when you talk about like little things that happen when we're young, because that's when we're most impressionable. I didn't realize it, but like that started trickling over into some of the other relationships that I had with other young ladies. You know what I'm saying? You can't even go around my boy, let alone nah, no. You know what I'm saying? So, but what that did was it could possibly strain relationships because it's like, yo, if those are your boys, if they're your real boys, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? So it's like being able to get that's just one situation. We have so many traumas that we go through in life. And it's just like, if we can get to the crux of it, and mental health, I think in the past 10 to 15 years, like diving into it, at least publicly, we've been able to take those tools and this information that you and other vessels of the kingdom are out doing and passing this information along, we become a lot more enlightened. You know what I'm saying? And now it's to the point where we can explain that and same idea that made that Freud came up with or put a definition on, and break it down into simplest least denominator and make it clear and make these youth like with learning and evolving, we have to be creative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to find ways of uh, getting the message across and saving a life. And if that means that we got to do it in a sense where we're going to be in your classrooms every single day and we're going to tell y'all what we've been through and we're going to love on y'all and we're going to not get down to your level, but understand you and see you for who you really are. If that's what it's going to take for us to make that change, then that's what we have to do. But imagine how many lives are being saved. Like I got the blessed opportunity to see you tell the young kids and pause, bro. Yo, takes like 7 seconds to breathe and watch what happens. Like it was plenty of fights that I could if I'd have just took 7 seconds, because it never like in the Wild Wild West where we lock eyes and it's like and attention. It's a moment. It takes progression. It doesn't just like you know what I'm saying. It's not a boxing match. These are humans, two humans interacting with one another.
Right.
And if I'm offended, you offend me. If I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what, bro? It ain't even that serious.
Peace. Right.
If we could do that, we're ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times those tools are being taught because the parents don't have the information. They don't like it. My mom struggled so much trying to teach us hook on phonics. But if she could have put her creativeness to the hooked on phonics and broke it down.
Oh yeah.
Because she eventually, funny story, funny how life works. She ended up being a substitute teacher. And she come home like, yo, I've created this new way of teaching the kids the bones in the body. I'm like, yo, where was that energy when I was a young buck? But it's all it really is getting the tools to be able to do that and showing people, yo, these tools are very simple.
Yeah.
But you have to be creative. My way is not going to work for you. Find a way. And we're gonna make it work.
Yeah.
I'm super thankful for what it is that you do, man, because it's so important in moving the culture, our people forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that because it makes a huge difference, bro. It makes a huge difference.
I appreciate it, man. It's something that I really enjoy doing, man, and it's something I do for free. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm in a position now to be compensated for the value that I bring, but for years I did it for free just because I just love doing it and I love helping people, man. I really love helping the youth out, man. Like families, men, and the youth, like those are my ministries, man.
Yeah.
Like that's big for me, man. It's big for me. Whenever I see a family, I'm like, it does something to me. Whenever I see young people, it does something to me. Whenever I see men like doing a thing, like, and even when I see men just like struggling, it's just I gotta step in. I gotta, you know what I mean? And it just happens organically. It's not even something that I'm like I have to force myself to do. It just happens. And God always gives me the right word. He always gives me the patience. He always gives me, whatever it is that's needed for that person or that community or whatever that is. I'll always get it. Yeah.
You mentioned family. You are a family man. You are a father of five beautiful babies and family. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting them, but I hear all of amazing stories, and I know that you come from good folk, and you got good people around you because of who you are as a man. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk a little bit about your family, man, and how important it was for you and your family. How you're married? How long have you been married?
12 years now.
12 years.
Yeah, this will be 13 coming up in July.
In
Yeah.
July.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
amazing.
know, 13 years in July. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it don't even seem that long, man.
Yeah.
It don't even seem that long. I feel like I got married like a year or two ago.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
inspired you to get married, man? What why settle down, bro?
Um, Man, when I was young, I was locked in, bro. I was trying to get somewhere. Does that make sense? Like I was really trying to build my empire. And it's funny because you know, when you initiate when you learn about marriage, it's the, you love each other, you take care of each other, you have kids, it's like this big bubbly, you know what I mean? Like everything gonna be precious, everything gonna be good. And I just thought when I got married, like we gonna be straight. Like I got this beautiful woman by my side. She goal oriented. She locked in. She loved me. Like we about to. And I got smacked with the. I got smacked because I didn't and we both thought this, right? Me and my wife, that you know being married was going to solve some of the problems. But the reality is, um don't matter where you go, there you are, right? I think Nate says that, wherever you go, there you are, right? So if I am running away from something and I get married, I'm still running away from something unless I dealt with that thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I had my daughter when I was 19. And I know that having a daughter, I always wanted a family. Like when I was younger, I seen my parents, my parents were married, my grandparents were married. So I knew that marriage was in my future and I wanted it. I always wanted 5 kids. So in the back of my head, I wanted a woman that wanted a lot of kids. Like if you didn't have a lot of kids, like I didn't mess with you. You know what I mean? Because that was my thing.
Yeah.
That's the family I want to build. And part of the reason why is because where I'm originally from, which is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that's where most of my family is. My mom and dad moved to New Jersey. We didn't really have family out here. Matter of fact, we didn't have any until my uncle came down. Um, so we grew up where my dad ain't trust to leave me and my brother and sister with anybody. So we was always around them. Like they were stern, they were strict, they were, you know what I mean? It was like fire and brimstone. We always went to church every Sunday. Went to revival on Wednesday. Like it was a lot of that. And my mom and dad was just doing the best they could. They were advised, they were guided, they were counseled by some godly folks, and they made sure that we were straight. But I always saw that, so I always wanted to be married. And that kind of the long answer, but when I had my daughter and I was raising her by myself. Um, I was like, I need a partner, like, cause I'm at this point where, um, she needs a positive female figure in her life. You know what I mean? And I was doing, pretty much everything, and I wanted to, just expose her to somebody else. But my wife didn't come at a time where I wanted a wife. To be honest with you, like it was like the first summer that I was like free of being with somebody. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
always kind of like in a relationship. Like I always, for whatever reason, I always be in a relationship, or just messing.
She came
Had a
around during
girlfriend.
peak season.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I was finally like done with that previous relationship. We always kind of went back and forth. You know how that go.
Yeah.
And then eventually it was like, all right, we really done. And that summer, I was free. I was like, man, I'm gonna go party. I'm gonna go out. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have some fun. And one night, my boy Malcolm met some young ladies on the beach, and he invited them for us to all go out later that evening, and that's where I met my wife. And I saw her, and I was like, "Yo, that's her." She wasn't wilding out. She ain't one of the. She was real reserved. She talked. She communicated. She was in the conversation. I'm just like, look how she carry herself. Like she ain't wilding out. She ain't doing. She just. I'm like, yo, that's what I want. Like I want somebody who can handle themselves, carry themselves well, be responsible, respectful, know how to have fun, know how to talk, know how to hold you accountable to, and then know her standard, right? She ain't just gonna be, doing no old daisy foolishness on the first day that she met me. So it was a standard, and I knew it right off the gate, and I was attracted to that. And yeah, that's why I'm married, because she was everything that I needed out of a partner. You know what I mean?
And through
Yeah.
marriage, man, how has it changed your life? How has she changed your life?
Um, First of all, she's given me beautiful children. Um, I mean, my children are amazing. Um, that's one thing, how she changed my life. The other thing is just seeing her standard,
Yeah,
right? Like I wasn't able to get away with what I got away with in the past, right? Like
yeah,
she helped me level up by saying, "Yo, what we doing?
yeah,
Like we ain't just, you know what I mean? Like what are we doing for real? Because I'm not here to just be fooling around. Like I'm not about that. Like what we doing?"
yeah,
Um, and that helped me take her and just moving forward seriously. The other thing is she just has some qualities, man, that you just want in a person, period.
yeah,
Integrity, honest, straight up, timely, prompt. Like she just solid. Like she just all around solid person in general. Like not just woman, just a solid person in general. Like I would want to be in her company if she wasn't my wife. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
she's just a solid individual. And at times, um, as being a husband or just being in a relationship at times, and being young, you go through a lot of different things, and just because you ignorant to it, and you grow through those things. And today, man, they used to say, "Yo, man, you ain't really into marriage until like 5 years in." Like then you could say, "Then you ain't really in until you like solid until you like 10 years in." And I used to be like, "Man, we straight," you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then for whatever reason, around like year 5, we start doing some and I'm not even saying 5 is going to be it, but like that fourth, fifth year, I guess it's kind of the pressure of people saying, and that's kind of like the looming, elephant in the room. 5 years is kind of hitting.
yeah,
Um, it's just something that happens around that time. But when you get to like 10, it's like, well, we in this. Like we ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But that's the vow that me and her made, and that was another thing that attracted me to her. She said, and I said this to her. I said, look, I knew that she was serious when she said this because it confirmed what was in my heart. She said, when we get married, um, there is no option for divorce.
yeah,
That's not an option. And it's yo, that right there was the confirmation, because for me, and this is why I love you know, I love God so much, because his standard, you can always lean on it, right? Like his standard. And the thing for me is, because our standard was we not getting divorced, we had to figure out everything. There wasn't no, oh, I'm out. Because that's what a lot of people do. When things get tough, they out. That wasn't our standard. That wasn't even an option. So
yeah,
we made this vow before God. We had a bunch of witnesses. We gonna work through this thing no matter what. We ain't never gonna quit. We gonna put, we might have to take 7 deep breaths. At the time, we ain't know that. I wish I'd have knew that then, right?
Word.
You know what I mean? I didn't know about the brain dumping and journaling. I didn't know that I should listen to a positive music playlist. I'm listening to something that get me in the mood to either depress me more or make me angry, right? You know, I didn't do none of that stuff. I didn't learn anything about that. But over time, man, just getting counsel, looking at my wife and going, yo, you know, how come I'm not being everything that I know that I can be for her, you know?
Yeah.
And then it transitioned to like, yo, it's not necessarily about what you can be for her. It's about what God created you to be, period. And when you be what God intended for you to be, you'll be everything that she needs.
Yeah.
And once I realized that part of it, and I caution guys to say, yo, my wife is everything, you know, it's like, yo, don't put your wife before God, bro.
Yeah.
Because he'll stir that all up. He'll stir that all up so that you go to him and then come correct. Because if you gotta be here first before you be there, you know what I mean? Before any horizontal relationship, you better get your vertical right. So that's my life in a nutshell when it comes to marriage, man. I'm going to Christ, I'm going to God first.
Yeah.
You know, because I know what it looks like to do the opposite.
That sounds a lot like some personal work that you had to do on yourself, personally first. So, how important is God in not only in your marriage but in your life? How important is God in your life, bro?
He's number one. Like he's. I mean, I trust him with everything. Like it's like I even he changed my life, like for real, like from it. And I'll say I try to make it very practical because sometimes when people hear, yo, you know, God changed my life, sometimes, you know, we think these big hands just scooped us out of this mess and, you know, just brought us into this promised land. And it doesn't happen like that necessarily. I mean, at least for me, let me speak for myself. The way it happened for me is I was living my own way. I was living my own way. I was doing what I wanted to do. I was doing what I thought was best for me. And I kept bumping my head. And I kept bumping my head and kept bumping until I finally learned, like, why do I keep bumping? Like, this joint hurt, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do I keep doing this? And like, how can I? So, you know, you can read the personal development books, you can read the professional development, you can go to the conferences, you can listen to the YouTube, you can listen to the podcast, you can do everything that you want. You can do every practical thing. But at the end of the day, you won't be fulfilled because even those things were inspired by him.
Yeah.
So those things are supposed to lead you to him, not necessarily take away. And when you start making those things your idols, right? Your wife, your children, I don't care what it is, this laptop, this podcast, whatever it is, whenever you make an idol, he gonna break that thing down and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. It'll happen that when you least expect it. It's everything gonna be good. You like, oh yeah, we good. I'm living my way. Oh yeah, everything good. Yeah. Nope. So it got to a point where I was like really struggling.
Yeah.
I was really struggling, and I was doing all the things, bro. I was doing everything. Like I was going to classes. I was getting degrees, certifications. I was after it. I was doing everything.
Yeah.
And still not fulfilled, bro. Still not producing the value that God put in me. I'm like, why, man? And when I start leaning into God, he starts showing me, this is why, son. This is why, son. This is why. And then here's how you fix it.
Yeah.
Here's how you fit. And as I start repairing, he started restoring me, bring me back whole. Now I talk about things that I was afraid to talk about then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I show up authentically myself, not even caring because how can someone relate to me and I can bring them to Christ or bring them to before his feet, right? If I ain't showing my wounds, if I'm not showing my scars, if I'm trying to be perfect, and that's where I kind of came from. That self-righteousness, like back in the day, it was like you didn't hear about the stuff that was happening behind the scene. You just heard glory to God. God take care of everything. Just pray about it. But I'm really dealing with something.
Yeah.
I'm really dealing with something. And it's like, yo, I probably should be taking this medication. Nah, just pray about it. Like, listen, I do believe in the healing power of God, absolutely. But yo, take care of yourself too. You're a body, you're a body too,
Yeah.
right? Like you're a spirit and a body. You
Yeah.
better take care of that body. If it's something imbalance, yo, get that thing balanced. Like you gotta go to therapy, go to therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's Jesus. I think even Nate said this too. Jesus and therapy.
Both of them.
Jesus plus therapy. Yeah,
Combination.
man.
Combination.
Yeah. Yo, it gotta be, man. Cause
Yeah.
yo, I tried everything. Yo, you gonna try everything. Smoking, drinking, having a good time, trying to numb everything. You try to do all of it. You go to a bunch of comedy shows, laugh it off. Do whatever you want. Buy 100,000 pair of Jordans. You fly everybody, and you feeling everybody compliment you. You fly on all your pictures. You posting these pictures. You doing good. Like you good.
Yeah.
But
That soul ain't right
but
there.
it yeah yeah yeah.
That's what it really was for me, man. Like I love going back, and like a lot of people don't like doing it, but I do because like it's entertaining, and cause like I love it. I love the transition, like that butterfly effect. Like ain't nothing better than that story, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
there's no greater story, but like I remember this was early in my relationship with William, and I was like, yo, um, go to my old page because I couldn't find it for some reason. Like it was like private, and so she had already followed me on my old Instagram. So I'm like, yo, you follow? And so she did. So we'll go to it. I just want to go back and look at some of the old photos, right? And I went back, man, and it was it was so like swaggy, boy. Like couldn't tell me. You feel me? Like swaggy, bro.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
swaggy,
yeah,
but I was broke, bro. I was broke financially. I was broke spiritually. Um, and if I'm being completely honest, sometimes broke morally, bro. And it was just
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
like,
what it do.
you know what I'm saying? And I remember, and I'm like, yo, I had the chain, I had the all white, looking like Floyd Money Mayweather, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fresh out of paid in full, bro. Like, like,
What you doing, B?
what you doing, baby? I'm chilling, baby. You know, a movie. You know what I'm saying? I was fly, bro. And I'm like, but I wasn't happy, man. And it's funny because at that time, I was what I would consider succeeding or starting to succeed in like my acting, and like I'm starting to like I see like little signs of like, yo, this is where you belong. But like I will come home, and I think we had this conversation. I will come home and I'm like, yo, mom, like people like going up for me like on Facebook and Instagram and all that. But I don't feel none of that. Like I'm like, I
Mhm,
get no
mhm,
fulfillment out of that. Like there's nothing. And being at Paulsboro with you, bro, and like knowing that I was making a difference,
mhm.
that is where I got my fulfillment. Now, granted, I still love my acting. Like I'm still taking strides of doing that, but
Right,
that is a byproduct of my serving and what I do to serve God's kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
right,
That's
right,
just a
right,
byproduct
right.
of that. And
Mm,
so now when I'm going into it, like I can go up, boy, man. I used to be up early in the morning. Like I still get up, but like I sleep better now, bro. Like
mhm. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
I consider myself to be an alert person, but I sleep better, bro. I sleep so
yeah,
much better now. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and that is
It's a piece, bro.
it's a peace that passes all understand, bro.
Yeah,
Like it really is
yeah.
that. And I think that once we can start figuring that out, figuring out what is our purpose, where do we really get fulfillment from, when we start focusing in and zoning in on that, that's when things start to open up. And like you said, it doesn't get easier. We just become a little bit stronger and a little bit better to be able to
Yeah.
handle the situation.
Yeah, that's my passion, man. When you ask, why do you do what you do, is because I want to see people living their gifting, man.
Yeah.
When you like I'm just understanding the peace that passes all understanding. And when I say understand it, I mean like I'm living it now, right? Like the reason why you have a peace is because you are in a space of refining. God's refining your gifting,
Yeah.
right? He's refining it. Refining it means you going through some, some purging, some grinding, some challenges. But at the end of the day, you get this fine material that's valuable, and people are attracted to value. Period. We're wired that way because the value really come from it come from him. Like you even look at diamonds, right? You look at diamonds. Diamonds are valuable first off because we agree, but second of all because we know the process that it went through to become what it is, right? So for us, we know, like, look, to get a degree, you're gonna have to go through this to become a. That's why we esteem doctorates, not just because you got the name. It's because we know what you went through to get to that point, right? So like when it comes to seeing people operating their gift, it inspires me to see people walking in excellence and moving like they moving with God or for God. Like yo, like to see you up there speaking and hear you sharing. It inspired me. Like it motivated me. It made me want to go and keep doing and keep build. And that's what God intended the giftings to be for, to inspire each other, to use it to help each other and continue to bring people to him so that we can be with him once again. Yeah. But make no mistake, that's why I'm here, bro. Like I've been, people been like, Les, what you, because I've done a lot of different things in the past, like but it's all kind of been around the same space. So I've always been in a community, around families, with kids, and businesses, right? And I know that may seem like vast, or it may seem like broad, but like when you think about what I do, right? I build relationships with businesses and entrepreneurs. I learn about them. I provide services for them. I provide services for them so that they can go out there and use their gifting, get very refined on what they do, very clear on what they do, help them get the direction and clarity so that they can go execute and produce the value that they produce, right? And bring in money, whatever, the value, opportunities, so forth, so on. So I got connections in the business world and network. I go into the schools because I understand as a youth, there's something that these young people need beyond the academia that they're learning. Yeah. I know that they need that because I needed that. I needed the guidance. I remember going to college not knowing, like, okay, I'm kind of on my own right now. Like, what am I supposed to do? I got to fill out this FAFSA. Okay, this is like my first time doing this stuff on my own. Like, these kids need those skills. Fill out a check. I never filled out a check before. Like, how do you do? You know what I mean? Like, they need that stuff. And then families, that desire, because I didn't grow up around my family, like my extended family. So all I had was my immediate family, and that was my solid. I held on to that. And when I see families, I'm like, yeah, I want to see families like be rocks together. I want to see them grow together. I want to see them build empires together. And then community, I've seen how, okay, the business, the school, the families are all the community. Yeah. Right? So I'm in the community trying to figure out how to do. So it all wraps into one thing: the business side of me, the community side of me, the family side of me, the youth being passionate about it. It's all wrapped in one. And I'm starting to see how God's kind of creating and manifesting into not necessarily one thing, but I'm seeing how he's having me show up. And I'm showing up as a solution and a gap filler for everywhere I go. Like I'm a solution. Like I can see something, I can hear something, I can tell what you're not saying that I know you want to say. Mm-hmm. I can feel it. Like some people say empath, some people, it's all different. You're a visionary. I don't want the title. Spirit, I just know that it's a spirit, right? Holy Spirit. But it's like, but I'm just saying a lot of people got different titles and positions and all that stuff for it. But for me, that's why I connect with people so well. Because I know, like I know it. Yeah. Sometimes it can be frustrating though. And this is one thing I'm learning about your gift, because your gift can be a gift and a curse. Because I see people as who they can be, not who they are. So I might push you a little bit to become something that you may not be comfortable being at that time, because it takes some work that you're not willing to put in yet, or you're not willing to go through that uncomfortable process to become who I'm seeing you and who God sees you to be. So it's frustrating to see people to sit on these coaching sessions and people like, oh, I don't have clarity about this. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm like, all right, boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. And I'm working through the Holy Spirit literally, because I can't repeat exactly what you said, what I said to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have a formula, I have a strategy, but like how he uses me in spaces when people tell me their stories, and okay, that makes sense why you did that. Okay, and then you do this, you're a real estate agent, and you do, oh, boom, there it is. Oh my gosh. Like I could just walk and do this. Yeah, go do it. And then they don't go do it. That's frustrating. That's frustrating. So sometimes I know my family, I could be harsh. I'll be honest. And I just gotta be 100 with you. Because when I could tell a gifting young, like I could see it in my son. I could see it in my daughter. Like I could pick it up at like young.
Yeah.
I could see things and be like, man, we need to cultivate that. For my 14-year-old, she caught heck from me. She caught it from me because I pushed her. I've been on her. I've been on her head. The reason why I'm on her head, because she's around not just this environment, but she's in other environments where she doesn't get the best nourishment.
Yeah.
So she might get me 2 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm on her head. You know what I mean? Because I can see certain things. And I'm like nah. And I had to grow through that. I had to go through that because that was a form of control.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going back to what I said before. Like, you think your way is the best way, but really what I was causing is tension between my daughter.
Yeah.
But then when I started praying and really asking God, she coming to me about this, guy. This is happening. That's how God, like, I'm frustrated about something going on over there, and I don't really know, blah, 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 blah. And he just started giving me this peace, man. And I just started talking to her, not demanding, not controlling. And there's sometimes where that little rise up every now and then, and just, all right, put that back down. Put that back down. Put that back down. Like my daughter the other day asked me, Dad, can I get some blue hair? I'm like, can I dye my hair blue? No. Why? What? And then she got it. She just like me, so she's gonna present it the right way. She's gonna present it. She might even pull up a PowerPoint. You know what I'm saying? She gonna come. She gonna bring it. Right. And here's the thing. I can't do nothing but respect it, but then there's some things that I just got to stand my ground with. And at the end of the day, I don't really have no other reason. That I gave you all the reasons that I believe are, dye is going to mess up your hair. So, you already experienced that. Yeah, but my hair grew back again. All right, so why put dye in it again to make it? You know what I mean? Oh, well, this time we tried that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm standing my, but why? My hair grew back, but at this point, you don't accept the fact that it tore your hair up. Like that's my reasoning. Like you don't see that I'm trying to protect you. Okay, I'm dead. That's why, and I'm telling you because that's it. Because you're not receiving because you want. I'm looking on based on what you need. Because you know what? When you put that stuff in your hair before, there's a lot of things we had to do to get back and treat it the way so it can get back flowing again. Yeah. And you didn't, you experienced, pulling your hair out, and you experienced look at yourself in the mirror, but you didn't experience how I felt about that. Seeing my daughter go through that, seeing you go through that, like that was painful because I don't know nothing about hair. I ain't know. All I know is based on my wife telling me, and I'm looking up online, I'm trying to figure out what that hurt. Yeah. Right. And I probably should even say that to her. That'll probably be the reason, because she kept asking me why. But now that I'm saying it, it's like, yo, because you don't understand how I felt about that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why put yourself through that again? Yeah. Right. But yeah, man, it's just little things.
You got a much different lens that you're looking through. So it takes time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
There was plenty of times that I came to my mom with an idea such as smart as the blue hair. And she's like, absolutely not, dude.
Absolutely not. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Like, no.
absolutely not. Yeah. Same. Matter of fact, I got a story that, before I could get a word out of my mouth, my parents was no. It was just the impression. Like I was coming up like, hey, they already knew. You know what I'm saying? they already,
Your
they
track
already
record,
knew
bro.
that it was a bad bitch. Yeah, like
Your track
they
record is
already
crazy.
knew. Like I see how you approaching this thing. It was just like the last 30 times that you just we good. And
Just
I was telling my daughter, I'm like, yo, I teach my kid, there's a formula. You want something, there's a formula. This is how you do it. This is how you get what you want, right?
yeah,
First thing is, if you want something, you better make sure everything is taken care of that you need to take care of in this house.
yeah.
Because you're not going to get more if you're not taking care of what you had. That's biblical,
Yes, it is.
right? I believe that's Luke 16:10. Like, you know what I mean? You can if you can take care of the few, then you'll be provided with the many, right? I'm not going to give you because I'm spoiling you at this point. I'm giving you something and you ain't have to do nothing for it. Then that's how you think things gonna work. Like, nah, no. You're gonna have to work for it. You're gonna have to go through something. It's going to cost you something. And you're not just gonna come up and just get things for free all the time. And I give, but I'm not for stuff that they like I gotta move for, like I gotta come out my pocket and I gotta move for. It ain't something that you could just do. Yeah, it's gonna cost you because to get people to move and to get people to pay you and to get people to there's something that you have to do and I'm teaching my kids. As a matter of fact, this is the last thing I say about this part of it. I heard this thing a couple years ago and I considered it and I thought it was really interesting. I think it was Robert Kiyosaki and he said, I don't pay my kids for labor. I don't pay my kids for labor because I don't want them to think that they can only make money based on what they do with these. I want them to get paid based on what they have up here and then here. So for me, it made so much sense. I implemented in my house. Listen, y'all don't get paid. Y'all don't get paid for doing your chores. You live here. You're supposed to take care of your room. You're supposed to do those things. That's something I learned from mom and dad. I ain't even had to learn that from Robert Kiyosaki. But what I did consider is, all right, here's the thing. I'm not gonna pay you for your chores, but if you take initiative and you do it without me having to ask you, you get paid for that. Because you get paid in the real world for taking initiative for things. If you see a problem and you initiate the solution, you're bringing value. Value attracts money. Value attracts opportunities. Value attracts people. Value attract. Bet I'm teaching you something. The second thing is I pay you for developing and learning a skill. If I see you on YouTube and you watching some foolishness, or matter of fact, you ain't even watching that, no foolishness in this house. But like I see you watching something that's like, one or two little shorts, cool. When I start seeing you taking minutes and half hour watching all these short, yo, we done. What you let's learn?
Yeah.
You just spent an hour of your time doing what?
Yeah.
Did you learn anything? No. All right, put something on that you're gonna learn. I pay you for a skill. You learn a skill, I pay you for it.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is if you produce something. If you produce something. So, sometimes my kid they'll create like they'll create something. Like if you being creative, I'm gonna pay you for it.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing, if you read and you can give me a summary or you can give me 3 takeaways, I pay you.
Yeah.
And that's what we pay our kids for. We don't pay them for chores.
Yeah.
And my oldest, I said, that's the formula.
That's good.
But she'll come to me like, Dad, can I get some money? You know how you can get money. You know how you can get money. You know what I'm saying? And she be, man, look, this is how it works.
Yeah.
If I don't teach you this now, how you think, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. And obviously we bless our kids. They got everything they want, everything they need for the most part. Matter of fact, they don't have everything they want. They got what they need. They got a lot of things that they want. Maybe not everything, but I will say this: they can work for it.
Yeah.
They can put the work in to get it.
And that type
And
of stuff
it's not necessarily this, but here.
that thing goes a long way, man. Like there's small lessons that my mom used to like teach me that like I'm doing right now, like as we speak, bro. Like things
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
like when you're cleaning the bathroom, get down on the side, down in there where people don't really look. That's like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Remember her like
Yeah.
hand, like she would snap when we wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what are you snapping for? Like it's okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
older and now I have my own, and I'm
Yeah.
like about to have a conniption, bro, because it's like you get your own, you take care of it different. Like I get
Right.
cutting the TV off. Like she leaves the TV off, bro. And I can
Yeah.
probably remember her telling us, cut the TV off, cut your bedroom light
Yeah.
off.
Cut the. Yup.
You know what
Yup.
I'm saying?
That's a,
Stuff like that. We're like, why? They're like, oh, you'll see why when you get that electric bill.
right. Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
You'll see.
And that's some things we need to know the reality of, bro. We gotta know the reality of that stuff, man.
Yeah,
We
it's so
got
good, man.
we gotta know that.
It's full circle, family. I ain't lying. I ain't lying, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
Bro, I know. I know.
well, listen, I always end the podcast off in regards to shining a light on mental wellness and bringing up new
Mhm.
tools and new tips and how we can continue to elevate and keep a fine balance with our mental wellness
Mhm.
and our personal lives. What have you done to continuously through all your ups and through all your lows? What do you do to take care of your mental wellness?
Um, yeah, I get around water. You know, I get around water and I speak to God. Like that's what I do. It's a combination. You know, I don't do one without the other. I can be around the water and start feeling better, but then you know the fulfillment part of it comes. I'll start feeling better, but if I leave without talking to God, I won't be fulfilled. If that makes sense. When I start talking to Him, then he deposits, and then when I leave, I'm like, bet I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Yeah. So yeah, that's my space. The oasis.
Yes. So now what we usually do, we do like a rapid section at the end of each podcast. We'll do like I'll fire off 10 questions. You'll have 3 seconds each question to kind of answer it. If you can't think of it, we'll move on to the next question or whatever like
All
that.
right.
All right, you ready?
All right. I'm ready.
All right. Favorite movie?
Mm, that was more than 3 seconds. I can't. Dang, I got a bunch of them.
Favorite
Um,
color?
favorite what?
Color.
Blue.
Favorite dish?
Salmon.
Cheesecake.
Salmon, mashed potatoes, and asparagus.
That's one of my favorite dishes, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Cheesecake Factory or Red Lobster?
Ooh, Cheesecake Factory.
East or West Coast?
Mm, West Coast.
Love or loyalty?
Love.
Lifeguard or empowering others?
Empowering others.
Dinner with Jay-Z or the 500K?
Oh, give me 500K. No, I'm just playing. I had dinner with Jay-Z. I had dinner with Jay-Z. Yeah, I have dinner with Jay-Z.
Favorite hobby?
Uh water. Around some water. Reading. Yeah. Water reading.
Winter or summer?
Summer, definitely.
No doubt. Well, Les, man, I thank you for taking some time with us, man, and chopping it up, passing off your wisdom, your knowledge, and your experiences. It's always a pleasure chopping it up with you. And for my guests, thank you for checking in with us again for another week of the Meraki podcast. Make sure to share and subscribe with all of your friends and families. And as always, peace over everything. So thank you. I love you. Be well.